I'm going to tell you a story, a very dark story, the dark side of success. This is a story that actually happened to me over a course of 2 years. And listen, I've lived a crazy life. I'm 45 years old. I've been to prison twice. I've been in a bunch of high security penitentiaries transferred around. I lived a crazy life of a drug dealer and arms runner and shit. But at 45 years old, I haven't gotten a speeding ticket in 20 years. But the struggles never go away. The struggles I had in my teens and 20s with drugs and the police are now struggles in my 40s as an entrepreneur with the IRS, everything in between. So let me tell you what success really looks like. I know I've thought my whole life there would be a certain dollar amount. If I have $1 million or if I have $10 million, then I'll be successful and I quote unquote won't have to work anymore. I remember seeing people that seemingly had tens of millions of dollars still working, and I'm always like, what in the world are these people doing this for? And I realized earning tens of millions of dollars in business does not equate to keeping tens of millions of dollars in business. I learned that at an early age, obviously. So let me tell you how success can you. It's 2022. We're coming off our biggest year ever. And July, we had just thrown an event for the first time in a stadium, and we made like $8 million or so from this event. It was crazy. We had people giving us 6 figures for sponsorship. On stage, we had Logan Paul, Ed Milet. I spent millions of dollars, multiple millions of dollars just in speaker fees to get the people there and to put on a hell of a show. At that event, we sold Apex to everybody, and if you got Apex, you got to go to a private party with David Goggins, and it was wildly successful. Like literally 1,000 people joined that day. And still to this day, the biggest day and the biggest ROI for the money I spent on David Goggins I've ever got in my life. We're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I need some tax deductions. I buy this building, and I buy the building for $5 million, and I put a couple $1 million into it cash. A couple $1 million into the building for cash, and then I get a mortgage for $4 million on the building. $4 million mortgage. I've never had nothing like that before, but we're making money hand over fist, right? I'm making so much money. The Lamborghinis I'm driving, like I had a Urus for a year, and I sold it and made $50,000 more than I paid for it a year prior. I had a STO that I drove for 2 days, and I sold it for $125,000 more than I paid for it. So it was like money coming out of everywhere. It was at events, it was in Apex, it was our programs, our software, fucking cars, watches, like money was coming everywhere. So I got to find a tax deduction. I buy this building, put a lot of money into this building. We're carrying $1 million monthly payroll at the time, just absolute fucking gangbusters. And I had been building this slowly for a time, and I thought, this is it. This is our point. We arrived. It's going to be balls to the wall here on out. We'll never slow down. And we hadn't slowed down. We'd been on a good 5 to 7 year run of continually building and compounding. And then 2023 came, and it was like March or April that interest rates started going up. So now all my real estate and mortgage clients, they're struggling because their industry changed. So we're seeing people start dropping out of our programs, not buying as many tickets, not dramatically, but we're seeing it, we're noticing it. Then we start to notice the financial people, that industry struggling. And we watch industry after industry consecutively for 12 months start falling apart. We rely on business owners to become successful. And a lot of business owners went into fight or flight mode because they're like, fuck, man, I got to cut every bill. We did the same thing here. We got to cut every bill we did. Like, I'm not making money from cars. I'm not making money for watches. There's not as many events going on as there was. Like, everybody's competing for masterminds. It was fucking crazy. And that was just in a year. But I end the year off in 23, super successful year. Not as good as 22. But we still made it a super successful year. But here's what happened. In 22, I spent $5 million on the building. I spent $3 million on my ranch, and I bought $1 million worth of rent houses all in the month of December. Then, in the month of January, I bought another $500,000 house next to the ranch that I just bought so that I could have a house on my acreage. All this within a short period of time. Then, 2023, in April, I spent about $300,000 building roads and ponds and stuff out on the ranch. All this is happening and just banging through, blowing through fucking money left and right, but getting things set up. We're going to do retreats at the ranch. It's going to make us money, which it does now. We're going to throw events in the building, but my dumbass spent all this money on the building renovations and shit, didn't realize I need to spend another another $1 million on motherfucking furniture and wall art and shit like that. A stage, cameras, fucking lights for downstairs and auditoriums. Fucking money, just everybody's coming by with their hand out and I'm just handing them dollar bills out of my wallet. There's none left over for me. The biggest year of my life, we're doing tens of millions of dollars. And I say none of it's left for me. I own a building, I own a ranch, I have a house, obviously, right? But I mean, we were spending it as fast as we can get it because I know the rule of money. Money's not good just sitting around in a bank account. Money needs to be invested. It needs to move. You need to be buying shit with it, right? Like you buy shit, you sell shit. That's how money works. I thought I made the right moves between buying the building and the house to get enough accelerated depreciation to write off on my taxes. Ranch, building, houses, CPAs tell me everything's good. I don't have to pay taxes come April. Perfect. In July, we throw another MDM. It cost us a few $1 million. We made like $1 million. So we went from making $8 million to $1 million. So that was fucking scary, but we still pulled it off. At the end of October of 23, I get a call from my accountant and they are informing me they made a mistake and I owe $1 million to the IRS. So let's just do some guerrilla math. Hypothetically, there was $20 million made from the company in 2022. $3 million, counting furniture and renovations, of that 20 goes into the building. $2 million of that goes into the ranch. Then $1 million a month payroll. So 12 months of that is $1 million a month. That's 12 million. So you can see really quick there ain't no fucking money left. Then in January of 24, the house floods, a pipe bursts and it floods, $60,000 worth of fucking damage in the middle of another guy buying the house, which changed the whole fucking negotiation. Spent all my money. At this point, by the time February, March rolls around, I've paid the IRS and now I'm still fucking floating the bill on this house that I've got. And I ended up selling it in July. So I had to carry that damn thing for what I thought was going to be a week and ended up being for 7 months. I don't even get paid on the house until September of last year because I had to work out the most financially fucking backwards reverse engineer way to get that thing out of my fucking hands as possible. Got stuck with the IRS bill. Oh, fuck. Then I got stuck with the house bill too. Meanwhile, IRS decides they want to audit me for the second time in 3 years. So now I'm going through a fucking audit for this entire time that I'm telling you this story too. December of 2023, I find out 2 of my top employees had a secret relationship. Both of them had access to the finances. And if I can't trust them to tell me that they were in a relationship together, then I surely can't trust them with my money because they must have known they were doing something wrong or thought they were doing something wrong. So, you know, business is business. As much as I might have liked those people, I had to terminate them. Rebuilt the business by July. I've got another 20 people or so in here and end up having to fire that person as well for shit that's not even worth talking about on camera. And then they took like 5 or 7 of the salespeople. While I'm spending money left and right, being audited, being fucking billed by the IRS, buying a fucking house to gamble and make some money and fucking that deal completely up, getting my ass handed to me. So July comes around the corner and I'm running MDM for the 3rd year in a row in a stadium. And 2 days before the event, Live Nation hits me up for $150,000 because they said that we weren't going to be able to move within the time. So they billed me for another fucking 24 hours. Then I get a stage bill, which somebody else set up for me that was a $200,000 more than I expected to fucking pay. So now I'm at a $400,000 deficit after fucking losing all that money, after paying the fucking IRS, after still dealing with this house, because while the event's happening, the house hadn't sold yet. It's a fucking nightmare. Now, why do I tell you that story? Because you might look at my social media and say, oh, there's Stewmy, he's got nice cars and tractors and happy family and, you know, his life's perfect, man. I bet that guy has no problems. But the truth about success is mo money, mo problems. The good news is I'm still here, still have a business. We still have a little bit of money, even though we fucking spent all of it several times. There were multiple weeks last year. If I didn't have a wife and kids, I would have definitely shot myself. And I don't need you to worry about me or call the suicide hotline. I'm totally fucking fine. I guess I have a wife and kids, but it was that fucking bad. How am I going to pay this bill? Why the is the IRS taking additional money from me when I thought I did the right things to take care of it? And it's not that I didn't pay them taxes, guys. I paid 7 figures in taxes. They wanted another 7 figures in taxes. So it's not like, oh, well, he didn't pay and he needs to pay his fucking bills. No. And so I tell you that because if you're not cut out to experience a 2 or 3, or we're not done, it might be a 4-year period. I got to go through this shit. If you're not cut out to survive in times like that, if you're not cut out to have sleepless nights because you don't know how you're going to make payroll, or you don't know where your next thing's coming from, or this idea you had and invested in didn't monetize in the way that you thought it was. If you're not mentally prepared to go through a fraction of that story that I just gave you, then entrepreneurship's not for you. Because I could go on any commercial building around here, find the owner of that business, sit them in this chair, and they'll tell you that there's a 2 or 3 year period of their career, if not more, where they've had the same thing, if not worse, happen to them. When I see fake ass motherfuckers hating on business people, like these internet trolls that hate on influencers and stuff like that, like, what business are they running? They've never run into a hardship. What business are they running where they have 100% satisfaction with every customer they've ever done business? How big is that business, right? Why are they hating and being judgy on somebody when they don't know the whole story of what somebody goes on behind the scenes? So you can look at my Instagram and see happy family and fancy cars and good times on the ranch and fishing and shit, but not know the only reason I'm out there fishing is to take my mind off the fact that my motherfucking world's crumbling around me. And you could go and comment on, oh, look, this guy's business, he's got time to fish during the day, but in reality, you don't know that was the only thing that might have kept me sane last year. I'm pretty sure my family and that ranch is the only thing that kept me fucking held together for the last couple of years. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, sympathy, and I'm not saying we never made sales, our business didn't grow. I'm just saying shit's fucking difficult. And it wasn't because of anything that I could control. I've been able to control it better. But I tell you this because if you think these highlight reels you see on social media, it's all fast cars and hot chick and yoga sessions and a few strokes on the keyboard and you make millions of dollars like these fucking fake do nothing motherfuckers out there sell. That's not a real business. That might be a temporary win or a small fucking hustle that puts a good amount of money in your pocket. And I'm not knocking that. It's a real business has humans, employees, and they're fucking unpredictable. A real business has vendors and bills and the IRS, and they're fucking unpredictable too. If you're not ready to deal with the dark side of success from an entrepreneurial standpoint, the best advice that I can give you is go be a number 2 or go be a number 1 for somebody else that's having to deal with the behind. Because I promise you, the people working for me, they sleep good at night knowing their paycheck's coming on Friday. Me, I'm awake at night wondering what the fuck we're going to do to make payroll. That's how the owners are. So if you don't want that sleepless night and that stress on your end, just go be a badass number 2 for somebody who's already built something. If I hadn't already built something, that's what I'd do too, man, because this shit's for the fucking birds, but I'm balls deep in it at this point and can't get out. If you got something from this video, look around the channel here. There's a ton of other great videos. I just keep it real. You know, you're going to catch stories from me. I might be talking one day about cows and the next day about finance, and then the next video you might see something about success. So there's a lot of ADHD moments. I'm a little all over the place, but I'm always entertaining. Make sure you subscribe and check out some more videos, and we'll catch you on the next one.